What's going on, YouTube? Once again, it is Nostalgia Boy, and I am back with another story from the vault. Now, last week when I posted the story from the vault, I said that I would continue to use this to give you guys stories or information about things. Now, I know I made a legit guide to MLB videos, and I have always said that I was going to do the same thing for basketball jerseys. And that's what today is going to be. That's what today's video is. So I hope that you tune in, you watch everything. I know there's some guys that are collectors and collect the older stuff. You already know this. And you'll probably still tune in, and I appreciate you guys. And this is to help out any and everybody, because I do have people who will hit me up from time to time asking if a jersey is legit, especially when it pertains to older Mitchell and Ness jerseys, because the jock tags weren't all the same and they look different. So it's hard to tell, whereas now they're pretty streamlined, and most people who are recently getting into collecting jerseys, when they see Mitchell and Ness, if it's not the last two jock tag styles, they'll think that a jersey's fake because it's not the same, and the store or the website or whatever case may be. But you have to realize that Peter inked a deal with the NBA in '98, and we're now in 2022. So before he inked his deal with Adidas, when he sold Mitchell and Ness off, he had 10 years where he owned Mitchell and Ness making basketball jerseys. And within that 10 years, there was many different production runs, and things were different. Jock tags looked different. Neck tags looked different, non-existent. So there's a lot of details. If you don't know, now you will know. Not saying that I won't help people with legit checks, but hopefully this video will help you furthermore be able to get jerseys without asking for a legit check and whatnot. That's the ultimate goal, because I don't ask nobody for a legit check myself. So let's get to it. So, just in case the question is brought up, yes, Mitchell and Ness did make Charles Barkley. And as you can see, here goes the jock tag to this jersey. This would be your first run jock tag. And here you have it. 1984-85. And then you have Mitchell and Ness made in USA. And then you have the size of the jersey, 46. Some will have like a longer wash tag, and it'll say like size 48 long, 46 long, 52. And then you have the hardwood classic on the neck of the jersey. This is 1000% legit, but during his first runs, the jock tags weren't always streamlined exactly like this. So next up, Wilt Chamberlain. As you can see, there is no hardwood classic on the neck tag here, but you still do have the year and Mitchell and Ness. The size tag is gone because I got this jersey altered. It was too damn long. And as you can see a connecting thread on 1961 and a connecting thread on 62. So, with that being said, just because there's a connecting thread does not mean that it's fake. Now, later on down the line, well, what they have to offer now, anything beyond 2008, for the most part, will not have a connecting thread. So it's an easy way to tell that it's fake. And I mean, not like one little connecting thread. When you see that jock tag, 61, 62, the connecting thread went all of 1961 and of 62. With that being said, they still had different style jock tags. Once again, we have your hardwood classic on the neck of the jersey. And then this one, you actually have the Mitchell and Ness tag. And then this one only came with the size tab. And then there goes 61, 62. Once again, if you look, there's a connecting thread that goes through the entire, well, almost 1 to the 9, and then basically 61 to 62. There's a connecting thread there, and there. Next up, another one. Super rare. I know I've shown this, but as you can see, there is only the year, and then you have Mitchell and Ness and the size, size tab. And this is where I mentioned it'll say like long or whatever. So size 44 long, wash tag. Usually this would be down here, but as you can see, there's no Hardwood Classic logo on the jersey. Next up, we have this jersey, and as you can see, the only thing they have is Mitchell and Ness. This is Doreen, Minneapolis Lakers, George Mikan. So, for the most part, when it comes to first run Mitchell and Ness jerseys, they will be like this. They will have the Hardwood Classic on the neck of the jersey, or it will not be there. And then you will just have the year and Mitchell and Ness, and you'll have the size of the jersey, 42, 46, 48, 52, whatever the case may be with that. Now, before I move into the next part of the USA jerseys, Mitchell and Ness has made 36, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 56, 60, 64, and 70s. 64, 70s, small productions, those are big as hell. They never made size 58, no matter what production. USA, El Salvador, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Korea, China, Vietnam, never made a size 48. When it pertains to 42 and 50, 50s a lot of times will be like game-worn stuff with the turn back, the turn back the clock with the MLB work that he did. 42 will be like basketball jerseys. There will be some basketball jerseys in 50, but they're very rare. They're not something that pops up all the time, and they weren't a common production run. Very little pressings of things that are 42 and 50. So, but for the most part, when it comes to production, it's going to be 36, 40, 44, 46, 48, 52, 54, 56, and 60. Those are the most common stuff that you will find. So next up, they would continue production in USA. And you have to realize when Peter was doing production, he didn't just have like one place or one sweatshop producing, one manufacturer producing Mitchell and Ness jerseys. He had places all over doing different sports, different players, different teams. He was using the rip-on people in Berlin, Wisconsin, Perry, Wisconsin. He had some guy in North Carolina that used to be in the groups that used to do stuff. He was using EPS. He was using some place out in Oregon. So he had different places where he was getting stuff manufactured. So not all stuff is the same. So, but, certain things would become uniform. You would go to what I call the triple jock. So now you have your precursor to what you kind of see today. You have your year tab, and then you have the Hardwood Classic, and then the Mitchell and Ness. And then we'll get close on this one. And this is where I will reiterate the fact. See how we have the connecting thread right there? The 1 to the 9, the 9 to the 7. So, once again, you have a Mitchell and Ness jersey that does have a connecting thread on the year tab. And this is 1,000% legit. I got this shortened, and why I will bring that up is now I know people love Mitchell and Ness and they love the older stuff or the USA stuff, and they say it's the best. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. The biggest issue with USA run jerseys is sizing. Sizing could be all over the place, even if it was 44, a 46, or a 48, whereas today it's pretty much uniform. It's large is large, extra, 48's extra large. You're not going to run into those issues. I do have a jersey like this one right here. This is a size 44 with the triple jock. As you can see, it says size 44, but I did have to get it shortened a little bit because it was too long. It was the length of what would be a 2X jersey now, and I had to get it taken down. And this is size 44, but it fit me everywhere but the length. So, and there goes the hanging tag. So with Mitchell and Ness, on the other jerseys, you see they had the little tab on the side. They had the hanging wash tag with the size. They would continue to do that. It would not get uniform, I think, until around El Salvador or Korea. But USA run, and you have the hanging size wash tag on there. Here goes another one. And this is a size 44. I didn't have to get it altered, and this fits me perfect. USA triple jock. That's what I say. So, and then here goes USA run. And then you have the jersey with size 48 on the side of the jersey. So now, for the most part, most Mitchell and Ness jerseys that were made in USA, and then next in production, while he was still doing stuff in the United States, he would use Mexico and Dominican Republic. There's not too many of those jerseys around. Very good quality, very good stitching. For the most part, the only player I've really seen is Larry Bird. I know there's some other jerseys out there that are made in Mexico. Dominican Republic, very slim. There is some other made in Mexico jerseys out there, but the only one I've ever seen is Larry Bird, both in Dominican Republic and Mexico, and both of them have the hanging tag telling you made in Mexico, made in Dominican Republic. But very rarely, there wasn't too many jerseys you would actually get made in USA that actually had the player's name with the year on the jersey. And there would be instances where that would happen, and this would be the case for one of them. So of course, as you can see, you have the triple jock tag, and as I bring this close in, it says Robert Pettit Jr. This was the year the St. Louis Hawks, who are now the Atlanta Hawks, won their title, and I think this is the only loss the Celtics had in the finals during that time and reign of basketball when they just won everything. So as you can see, the name. So from there, as I mentioned, they would start producing stuff from Mexico and Dominican Republic while still doing stuff in the U.S. And now they would get into the jock tag that we, for the most part, would recognize. Here you go. You have the Hardwood Classic and the Mitchell and Ness, now all in one block together, and then a year over the top, and then the size tab on the side of the jersey. Once again, still no neck tag coming in yet, but once again, there would be instances with USA run jerseys where you would have the year and the player. So here you have it, 1966-67 Dave Bing Detroit Pistons jersey, one of my favorite Piston jersey. But like I said, you have that big block jock tag, name, year, and then the size tab on the side of the jersey. Now, with that being said, Mitchell and Ness produced some really, really, really dope All-Star Game jerseys. There's All-Star Game jerseys to this day I wish that I could find in my size. I've missed out on some. But like the 78 All-Star Game, the 79 All-Star Game, trying to think. Well, I do have a 72. So, he made All-Star Game jerseys, and some of them are really hard to find, others not. But, here goes a very rare one, made in USA. As you can see, still no neck tag. And this one does have Rick Barry's name on it. Another instance where you have the year and the player's name, jock tag that you recognize. Now, I will say this. On those jerseys, they wouldn't have the player's name. So, Peter did the 72 All-Star Game. He did the Havlicek for the East. He did Jerry West for the West, the famous West jersey. And it would just have the season. So, it would say 1971, 72. And that's something that they would do for some time and a while. Because they just didn't change it. I will get into that further, but even into Made in China, anybody who has Shaq, Pippen, Thunder Dan, the 95 All-Star Game, you will see that it has Scottie Pippen and the year, where on the newer one it wouldn't do that. So from USA, Peter would also be working in Dominican Republic and Mexico, and then he would also move himself a lot of production into El Salvador. El Salvador, to me, has some of it was when Peter started to get more uniform. So what we recognize as a large, extra large, 2X, 3X, 4X, medium, he had a size for all of those jerseys. He was producing those jerseys, and he had a uniform. Stuff wasn't long. It was fitting right for the most part. So some of his earlier El Salvador stuff would be something like this. Your rookie Isaiah Thomas alt jersey, Silver Dome jersey. Now, as you can see, you're starting to see that familiar neck tag, Mitchell and Ness, and then you have the size wash tag hanging under it. Now, on like the earlier El Salvador run stuff, you would have this more like cloth tag. And, as you can see, it's not just a thin piece of paper. And it says made in El Salvador, and it would have the size of the jersey. And then, for the most part, they would be pretty uniform, and you would have 81, 82 clean. The jock tag got cleaned up. And with El Salvador, they would do some jerseys with the size tab over here, and there would be a bunch where they had the size tab in the middle of this part of the jersey. So it would say like 46, 48, 52, whatever the case may be. So just to show another El Salvador run jersey, we have this Seattle Supersonics, Spencer Haywood, same thing, nice clean jock tag. And then you have this paper, well, not paper, but this cloth tag for the size of the jersey. The next production run, which you would see a lot more stuff, this would become just a thin piece of paper. So it wouldn't just, wouldn't be like this. It would just be a thin white, because you see there's some sheen to this. It would just be a flat white paper that would tell you the size of the jersey. And for the most part, you would have the 46 size tab would be right here. There would be some instances where they're there. And, so I had an El Salvador run with the paper tag, and it was a Bill Walton jersey. It fit me good. Now, what I will say is when you see the jerseys that have the paper tag, they're long. Doesn't matter what size it is. It could be 44, 46, 48. This is a 48. This is a 46. And this is a size 44. And all three of these were too long for what size they say they represent. So I had to, of course, some people say I butcher them, but basically shorten them so that I could wear them and they wouldn't be down at my kneecaps. And then from El Salvador, that's when Peter would take it all the way overseas and he would start production in Korea. Now, for the most part, a lot of things that were produced in Korea were identical to El Salvador. They would have the paper tag on the neck, say the size, and a little later in the El Salvador run with the paper tag, and both with the Korea. So I'm guessing they were at the same time. You would start to see players' names popping up on the jersey. There's like Elgin Baylor, but if you could find like the powder blue one, not the navy blue, the powder blue with the stars, it'll say like 61, 62, I believe. It'll say Elgin Baylor. And I'm pretty sure it's an El Salvador run. And Korea would do that too. So they would be in unison, but just, different production areas. And then there would be some instances, same thing like El Salvador, there was some really unique, rare jerseys, the only production run that Peter made that were only during that production time. So you would have this. This is a Korea run. As you can see, you see the Mitchell and Ness, and then you see made in Korea. And then the jock tag says 87, 88. And on this Korea run, when you see it and it has the little made in Korea like this on the neck, when you see the jock tag, there will be a connecting thread on the number, the year tab. The only jersey I can say that really doesn't happen is the super rare home Phoenix Suns Charles Barkley. It actually doesn't match this. It's a different, but that's a very rare Korea run made jersey. Same style. The only difference is they did not have the Mitchell and Ness, but they have this wash tag, made in Korea, and this would have the player's name. This is where I said they started to mix in the player's name. Nate Thurman, and there is a connecting thread on Nate and Thurman, 67. So, a lot of stuff and detail to take in. So, with Korea being the next stop, him still producing in Korea and El Salvador around the same time. The reason why I say that is because when he released the other Barkley jerseys, there was some that were produced, which was the All-Star game in Korea, but then the rookie red Sixers was produced in El Salvador, which I own that as well. So at the same time he was producing jerseys in El Salvador, he was doing the same thing in Korea. But from Korea, Peter would finally move everything all the way overseas, and there would be made in Taiwan, which would be the precursor, almost identical to what you see with the made in China. So Taiwan, China, things of that nature. And basically almost all of this would be the same. You would start to see this, you have the Mitchell and Ness on the neck. You have the name and the year with the jock tag. You have the 48 XL size tab on the side. It was no longer have any hanging down on the middle under the block right here, the jock tag. Everything would stay on the side, and you would get the number and what size it was, XL, large, small, medium. But with made in China, the early runs would come with a gray wash tag. So you see how we have this red tag that you all recognize. Early made in China would actually have a wide gray hanging tag. It would say size 48 XL, 44 large. So sometimes when people see them, they kind of throw people off because they think it's fake, but those are legit. But they're very early run China stuff before it would all become like this. There would also be made in Taiwan, which would be the same thing. You have this, and then you would either have the red or that silver block neck tag. And then once everything was taken to China, this is what most people recognize and think is legit when it pertains to Mitchell and Ness. Mitchell and Ness, the red neck tag, made in China, XL. You know, you have your jock tag, year, name, you know, and then even the people who look for like the QC, you know, you start to recognize, you know, you have it July 2013. So spring 2013 is when it was produced. So, you know, this is what we are very, you know, familiar with. Most people are. And then now Mitchell and Ness. Well, before I go to the new one, this is where I mentioned how on earlier All-Star game jerseys, the only thing you saw was the year. So 71, 72. And now Mitchell and Ness would take it to show you the exact date that the All-Star game was played. So on the USA run, it just says 1971-72. On this one, it says January 18th, 1972, Jerry West. So on all the All-Star games you now see, it'll say the exact month and date and year instead of having just the season as it did in the past. And then, you know, Mitchell and Ness hits their mark, missed their mark. They've been doing it since forever. But the one thing I don't like about the new jerseys is the billboard. They made it even bigger by adding the authentic, you know, under, because I know a lot of people, probably because, you know, they came out with the swingman and people are like, oh, I have an authentic Mitchell and Ness jersey, and it would just be swingman. And yeah, you have the billboard, as I call it, is a very big jock tag. And they would still continue to have, you know, 48, the tab over here, the neck tag that we all still recognize, and then made in China. Now, with that being said, there are some jerseys that Mitchell and Ness is making, and they have also now shifted production to made in Vietnam. So they still have stuff in China, and they now do stuff in Vietnam. Let me check. I may have one. Nope. But sorry about that. I was looking because I have some other newer Mitchell and Ness jerseys, and yeah. As far as basketball, I don't have ones that were made in Vietnam. I have baseball, and I think a football one that was made in Vietnam. So they have moved production, and it's now China, and it is now Vietnam. For the most part, the jock tags can help you find out if a jersey's fake or not. The neck tag will help you when you know what production run it is, like USA, El Salvador, Korea, China, because you'll see like a mix. You'll have like a jersey that has a jock tag like this, but then it'll have the neck tag of this, which is a made in China. So, you know, when you see things that don't coincide together, you know, it should be things like that that should be able to let you know, like, hey, this jersey is fake, you know. So, with that being said, I know I've rambled off long enough and took enough of your time. That'll be it for today's Stories from the Vault. Finally gave you a guide to Mitchell and Ness NBA jerseys. I hope you watch this video, which you'll probably break it down. If not, oh well. I appreciate everybody who does. I know I'm just talking crap. Shout out to all the guys. And that'll be it. Until the next time.